It appears improbable that the United National Congress, UNC, will hold its internal elections in 2024. The highly anticipated United National Congress, UNC, internal elections are poised to take place following the constitutionally scheduled general election next year. Despite calls from approximately 5 sitting opposition MPs to hold the party's internal elections in June, it is understood that the majority of the 19 opposition MPs advocate for delaying the polls until after the general election. They argue that the party's focus should remain on combating the People's National Movement, PNM, and ousting Dr. Keith Rowley from office. At a recent cottage meeting in Coroni East, opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bussessar emphasized the upcoming general election, constitutionally due by August 2025 but subject to Rowley's discretion for an earlier call. Notably, Persad-Bussessar refrained from addressing the issue of the party's internal elections. While Persad-Bussessar gears up for the general election, some of her MPs advocate for holding the party's internal polls in June. The National Executive, NATEC's, internal elections, excluding the position of political leader, are slated for June. Mayaro MP Rushton Perry initially called for the internal polls, supported by MPs Rodney Charles, Anita Haynes, Dr. Rai Ragbur, and Dinesh Rambali. However, despite these calls, the majority of opposition MPs favor postponing the UNC internal elections until after the forthcoming general election, constitutionally set for 2025. Party sources highlight the time-consuming and costly nature of internal elections, emphasizing the need for the UNC to be prepared for a potential snap general election. They argue that resources and efforts must be directed towards national campaigning to challenge the PNM effectively. Meanwhile, the Naparima executive, led by Shazam Mohammed, urges an urgent announcement of the internal election date. They note that other major parties have already announced dates for their internal elections. UNC Chairman Davendranath Tanku assures that the executive will adhere to relevant procedures regarding internal elections, dismissing external influences on the party's decisions. He emphasizes that the issue will be addressed in due course, following established procedures. As the UNC prepares for the general election, Persad-Bussessar warns of potential legal action if there are attempts to manipulate electoral boundaries in the 2024 election and boundaries, EBC, report. She insists on debating the report in Parliament and vows to challenge any unconstitutional boundary changes favoring the PNM. Persad-Bussessar underscores the importance of transparency and truthfulness in campaigning, focusing on issues such as crime, unemployment, and the high cost of living. She asserts the UNC's commitment to delivering honest and transparent governance to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.